Hello everyone, this is Big, and I wanted to make a guide where I describe all of the upper level Yasuo mechanics. I've searched YouTube for detailed guides on Yasuo's most advanced mechanics and have come up short. There are some advanced mechanics covered in certain videos, however, none of the videos really show or explain some of his more complicated mechanics, and they definitely don't describe all of his mechanics whenever they do mention some of his more complicated mechanics. So what I have done is I'm going to make this guide where I make a short compilation of the more advanced Yasuo mechanics and try to describe to you how to do them. And so most of my mechanics were some that I saw while I was watching really high level gameplay, professional or maybe even challenger level players, and a lot of this stuff wasn't even mentioned in videos. It's just something that I saw them do and have incorporated into my playstyle as well. Now, this video is intended for fairly experienced Yasuo players. I will mention some stuff that's fairly basic though, and all of this stuff will probably take some practice to really be able to do it on command. Now, Yasuo is a very complex champion. He has a ton of micro mechanics that make him very hard to master. He is actually one of the hardest champions in the game to master, although he isn't too tough to play at a low level. And when he's ahead, he's actually really easy to play just because you can auto attack squishies and kill them simply by auto attacking. But in high level play, you'll notice that it's much more difficult to get a lead, and you're always either even or behind, and competent junglers will often constantly gank Yasuo to pressure him to prevent him from snowballing. And some people will disagree where Yasuo isn't that hard, but to play him at his full potential, you need to know every single skill shot and projectile animation there is in the game, because you can, since it's on such a low cooldown, you can use your E to dodge skill shots. So you need to know their animation, because some of them are very fast and you're not going to be able to wait till it's on its way to dodge it. And that's true for his W as well. You need to know exactly what skills to win wall and their corresponding animation. For example, if you're facing a LeBlanc, if you only block her Q, she can probably still kill you, because your wind wall is just on like a almost 30-second cooldown at the early levels. But if you don't block her E, she can kill you, or if you don't dodge her E, because it's CC, and you'll be forced to take a lot more damage, and her Q will likely be back up. And you pretty much want to dodge heals that if they are landed successfully, then you will die. That's what you want to dodge. So a snare, CC, and stuff like that. And Yasuo has a very high outplay potential, because if you can dodge so much stuff, you can block so much stuff. You can, in minions, you can easily dash back and forth between sides of your wind wall to get yourself out of harm's way in most cases. And typically at low level play, opponents usually just back off whenever you have your tornado up. In high level play, usually if they're even with you, they will be confident in their ability to dodge your Q, so it can be very difficult to land your tornado to get an ult off. And that's one reason why Yasuo is so much more difficult at higher levels, because it's a pretty slow projectile and pretty hard to hit from a distance. The most difficult part of Yasuo is not really his mechanics, although they are hard, and they will be what separates a good player from a bad player. They are usually not essential to play Yasuo at a high level. It can be essential for you to get ahead in your lane. But the most important Yasuo mechanic is knowing exactly when to E ability. You use your E aggressively in lane, you can find yourself pushing the wave and setting you up for a gank. And also, if you E on all your minions, you'll not have a minion left to escape whenever you get ganked in. Now, Yasuo's most advanced mechanics involve canceling almost all of his skills with another skill, and incorporating flash into his Q. And all of these will give you an advantage in lane, especially at higher ranks of play where people can dodge your ability, or they know exactly when to use their escape, which would be whenever you E onto them. However, the techniques I am going to show you, if done correctly, if mastered, can easily catch people off guard, and you will win. You'll win lane if you successfully land these, even at high level, because people just aren't aware of these mechanics. Some of these mechanics, you'll probably be whenever you use them against an opponent, that'll probably be the first time they've ever seen it. So, some of Yasuo's most advanced mechanics involve incorporating his flash into his Q. So I'll show various examples of this, and for example, his Q, you Q and then immediately flash after you Q, and you can do this in regular form, in tornado form, or you can actually do it EQ form, and this will actually relocate the tornado to wherever you flash to. And this is probably one of the hardest things to do with Yasuo, but it's very, very effective for people that have escape, like LeBlanc, Katarina, people that can will simply flash or escape as soon as you E onto them with a tornado, if they're at risk of dying. In the tornado form, which is one I use, I rarely use the Q form, and I didn't even have any recordings of it, just the first or second Q. It's just how rare I've used it, maybe 3 or 4 times ever. But however, I use the tornado form usually once a game, maybe every other game, to catch an opponent off guard. And at first, when they see you do the animation, they're thinking, oh, he's out of range, or I can easily dodge this because I'm at max range. So you can Q, and then at that moment you either move the tornado in range of them and they're not expecting it, or you flash to point blank range where they have no chance to dodge it, or not expecting to have to dodge it. And this can be really good for catching people that are running from you. It's one of the easier complex mechanics involved with Yasuo. You can also, like I said, EQ flash, which will physically relocate your tornado to wherever you flash. And this can be really good for people when you're going to E on them to knock them up, and they would just shunpo or distortion or flash away from you whenever you E onto them if they're in danger of dying. So this is pretty good, because they'll think he used it to wave clear or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're in your ultimate and potentially dead. Another really important mechanic involved, Yasuo can do, involves his wind wall and his Q. His wind wall and his Q almost have the same animation. However, his wind wall, if you just wind wall, it will push him back a short distance. You can cancel this pushing back by using your E ability onto a minion or someone in range, or using your Q. And so you can cancel your wind wall animation by using your Q, and this can catch people off guard. So they see a wind wall, and all of a sudden there comes a tornado. And this is when you want to save for if people are constantly dodging your tornado. And you can just W Q tornado, and it'll usually catch people off guard, and most people will not be aware of this. And if people do start to catch on and they're using their escape as soon as you win wall, one thing you could do is um, not cancel and wait for them to use their escape, and then use some other mechanic to get the tornado onto them. Either EQ flash, Q flash, or just E onto them if they're not under the turret. You can also cancel your Q animation with your E, and you can do this to extend the range of your E similar, or to your Q similar to flash, although it doesn't catch people off guard because your E is still a channel and has a very slow animation, but you still can catch people off guard because it will throw your Q longer. So this video has described some of the more advanced Yasuo mechanics. There are other Yasuo mechanics, however, these are the ones that are the most complicated to master, and if you need to outplay someone at a high level that can dodge your Q, you can use these to get a knockup on them, and hopefully win your lane. If you'd like to see anything else about Yasuo, please just leave a message and let me know. I would be happy to make more videos. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you like the video, please like it, and hopefully I'll see y'all soon. Thank you.